What's up, everybody? Alex Philpott, here today in Charlotte, North Carolina. Beautiful 66-degree weather day.
Uh-oh.
Thank you very much, Ryan, for bringing me on here to talk about some football. This is probably my favorite thing in the world to talk about. Josh, love seeing you as well.
Oh, no doubt.
Apparently, we're having a reunion here in a couple weeks, so can't wait to see you guys in a couple weeks. So.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being on here, man. And as well, we do love football, so that's why I wanted to bring you on here. We got a lot of football going on tomorrow, and we got to start off with some good vibes. Let's go, Cheese. Where you at?
I know. I just told you. Hey, so Sophia took the phone. She ran with it. So we might have to beatbox for this episode. We'll start doing acapella. Someone started.
Mr. Green used to do that stuff, and that thing was dope. Remember that?
Yeah, he would go crazy.
All right, so anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started. Kind of a review of what happened on Thursday night. We had the Broncos going against the Jets. They were two defeated teams, so somebody had to win that night. I ended up getting one on Cheese over there, because he chose the Jets for some godforsaken reason. I have no idea. They're the worst team in football. Adam Gase is still an idiot. Sam Darnold goes out of the game, and then he gets thrown back in on third down. Like, you don't even let Joe Flacco go in. You're just like, oh, let's go throw him back in there because he's our starter. And then he ends up getting sacked. Like, that's stupidity right there, in my opinion. You just wait till he gets a fresh series to try to get him rolling again. The Jets. Otherwise, Jamison Crowder came back. He was a good fantasy option for you guys this week. I tried to tell you that's their number one receiver. They really don't have nothing else. Le'Veon Bell should be back next week, so that would be cool for them. But they're still bad. Yeah. And then the Broncos.
Joe Flacco was playing for the New York Jets.
I didn't know either.
he looked weird in that green out there.
I'm telling you.
That does not look like Joe Flacco.
Yeah,
it's not big either, though. But, I mean, that run was crazy.
On the flip side, we had Denver coming in with a bunch of young talent. Jerry Jeudy actually scored his first touchdown. He ended up bossing a guy and then just walking into the end zone. Melvin Gordon ended up busting loose for 2 touchdowns. He did pretty good fantasy-wise this year. Ryan Thigen, or whatever his name is, he's a nephew of Brett Favre or something like that. And then he ended up throwing 3 picks but 2 touchdowns, and it was just enough to get by because they did establish a running game versus a weak Jets defense. So I chose the Broncos for that reason because the Jets were awful. Cheese went on a limb, and he wanted to go different on me, so I ended up going one up.
Well, the thing is, so if I'm looking and I'm spreading everything out, I'm going to give the Jets at least 1 pick this year. At least 1 pick. Because you would think, they might win, one game. So, I think that would have been the night for them having a busted up Denver Bronco team. But, dude, the Jets are really, really bad. And Melvin Gordon just destroyed it run game wise. But, so if I was going to give them one, I was like, if everything and the stars align up, it's going to be tonight if they get one this season. But, not even being able to take care of business against them as banged up as they were, dude, I don't know if they do win a game this year. I mean, they looked rough. It was pretty rough, but yeah, I went out on a limb, try to see if I could sneak one in. Went with, fate and destiny to see if it would happen. But yeah, they're bad, man.
Yeah. With all that being said, it was kind of a trash football game. They did get the over. There was hardly any defense that game, and I'm just glad Jerry Jeudy. For those of you that didn't know that Philip Lindsay did not play, and then Cortland Sutton's out for the year, so they actually had a surprise Tim Patrick as a wide receiver come in. So if you're weak on the wide receivers in fantasy, go ahead and try to pick him up. It looks like he was the favorite target for him, and Drew Lock's going to be out for some time. So that being said, we're going to move on to the first game, the key game of the week. We got the Patriots and the Chiefs. I want you, Ace, go ahead and take that over and tell us what you think.
All right, so a little bit of a biased opinion on this game here, but a name for everybody to watch out for. Kyle Duggar, safety, first pick for the Patriots in the draft this past year.
Where'd he go to school?
Guy. So, what's that?
I said, where'd he go to school?
He went LR, right?
He went to school at Lenore. Yes, LRU, Lenore Ryan University. Go Bears, baby. So, last Instagram post the Patriots had was the McCourty twin of Devin and Doug, high-fiving. It said the vet and the rookie, so I thought that was pretty cool. But I'm biased on that one, even with Cam Newton out. I mean, I guess we have to address that thing about Cam Newton sitting out for COVID. So, hope he gets better. Who they at the beginning of the year they were talking about a battle for the starting position. Who's the backup guy?
They got Jared Stidham and Brian Hoyer as their backups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Jared Stidham's going to get the nod.
Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Cam Newton, former MVP. I mean, he's part of the reason that they're 2-1 right now. I mean, he's one of the main reasons they're 2-1 right now. With him sitting out, I mean, it's definitely going to be a drop off.
They're playing the Chiefs.
I mean, then again, I mean, yeah, they are exactly. So I haven't even talked about that. Chiefs. I mean, they're playing the Super Bowl, former Super Bowl champions. I mean, that offense is ridiculous. I mean, Patrick Mahomes just signed a $500 million contract, or $500 million worth contract. I mean, that's just ridiculous. And then he's got Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce. Yeah, I mean, he's got literally weapons. I mean, everywhere on offense. So I mean, and it's really, the Chiefs are one of the more fun teams to watch, because that offense is just, I mean, like, we're kind of, I feel like all of us are like really used to like traditional football, like I formation, and
the game's changing.
The defense. Getting the defense, like, yeah, run the ball like 30 times a game.
Yeah.
Andy
Reid, baby.
Andy Reid incorporated like this like weird like option, like the jet sweeps and the tunnel screens and crazy stuff, and just like getting all his players, like, especially getting all, because he has all these weapons, and then getting them on these one-on-one matchups. Like, he literally just gets them in space and like allows like Tyreek Hill to get like a one-on-one matchup with like you can put any DB out there. I mean, even like anybody in the Patriots. Hopefully Kyle Duggar's going to take him down. I think if Tyreek Hill and Kyle Duggar one-on-one open field, Doug's going to take him down. But I mean, probably not a lot of people in the league are going to be able to take out Tyreek Hill in open space.
Yeah,
but so with that being said, the line being -7 pass, I think with Cam Newton not being able to play, I think it's just going to be too much for the pass to overcome. I think the Chiefs are going to end up beating them by about 10. I think it's going to be a 10-point game. I mean, it's not going to be a blowout because it's the New England Patriots, but yeah, I think the Chiefs are going to cover that one.
Yeah, what about you, Cheese? What you think about that game coming up?
Yeah, it definitely changes even my thinking process of it, that Cam Newton being out now with Cam in it. I sit there and kind of think a little bit, and it's a lot less one-sided to either side. But Kansas City, I picked them. What was it, last week when you picked the Ravens and stuff like that? Until they get beat, I'm picking them. I'm riding with them. There's a chance until they get knocked off. But yeah, Cam Newton, that really, really, really hurts them. Or I kind of agree with it too, a little bit like Ace is saying. I don't necessarily see it as a crazy blowout because, the Patriots do a really good job at adjusting and things like that. And, they brought a whole new system in to kind of fit Cam and try to figure out what Cam best suits him for and how to build an offense around him. You bring some of these backups in that's been in that system behind Tom Brady and stuff like that through years, which is a system they've been running for years with Bill Belichick and his offense. Do they come out and start hitting on all cylinders and stuff like that and going, reverting back to the things and the ways that brought them to tons of Super Bowls? It's still not Tom Brady back there throwing the ball or anything like that, but does the system keep them in it closer than, because they're not going to run the same offense with these quarterbacks as they've been running with Cam. So, my thing is, Kansas City is still stacked on all levels. I got Kansas City winning that one, but it's going to be intriguing to see how New England does offensively and what they do offensively now that they can kind of revert back to the old days, the pre-Cam. So we'll see.
Yeah,
but I got Chiefs winning that one.
I'm gonna agree with you guys, and I know Ace over there is trying to hometown it with the Kyle Duggar pick and the Patriots. He's always really liked the Patriots, but I do think the Chiefs will come out on top on this game. They just got too much weapons on offense, and it is going to get postponed to Monday or Tuesday, so it could even be canceled this week and be postponed. Like the Tennessee-Pittsburgh game was supposed to go on, and then it's Week 7 now. So I don't know what's going to happen with that, but it is very, very interesting to see kind of the matchups. You know, New England does have a good defense, but I just don't think it's good enough to stop those guys. You know, they've got a solid corner that's locked down. They've got a good interior D-line, but I think the Chiefs are just way too fast. It's going to be a very good battle between Bill Belichick and Andy Reid, in my opinion. I think they're going to go back and forth. They're both going to make adjustments. Maybe not as much offense as we're expecting because Kansas City's defense is pretty solid too. So that's going to be a fun one to watch for sure. I'm going Chiefs, so I hope the Patriots can at least.
I wish Cam was playing, though. It'd be even funner to watch for me. But it is what it is.
I hope they at least come within 7 points, just for the betting purpose. But with all that, that's our take on the Chiefs-Patriots game. With the next game we got going on, we're going to talk about the Chargers and the Bucks. Chiefs, go ahead and take this one away for us.
Chargers and the Bucks. Let me see right now what we're looking at. Well, you still got Tyrod Taylor being out. Obviously, we know that crazy thing that happened with him. Another big injury they have is Brian Bulaga, and that really hurts him. I think he's a really good tackle for him. Chris Godwin's out for the Buccaneers and Leonard Fournette. Buccaneers still win that game. You know, I think Chargers are still trying to find their identity with all the new stuff that's happening to them. And, you know, it's kind of like they've hit kind of a roller coaster effect, especially for these first 4 weeks or first 3 weeks that they played, but first 4 weeks of the season. Buccaneers win that one. Tom Brady he definitely sees that one as a must. It should be kind of like a stat buffer for him and things like that. You know, I said Godwin is out with a hamstring, but he still has talent all over the place. And I think they're starting to utilize Gronkowski a little bit more. And before the preseason, you know, Gronkowski was saying that it was taking him a while to get things and get acclimated into the offense and things like that. So Buccaneers still win that one. Buccaneers defense still looks really good. Defense is too much for the Chargers. I think they'll pass it around a pretty good bit and have, you know, some pretty good yak and receiving yards and things like that. But I don't know. If Buccaneers play like they did last week, you know, I definitely have them beating the Chargers. I think there's just a little too much talent-wise right there, and they're starting to get it together. So,
what about you, Ace? Chargers versus Bucks.
Yeah, I think the Bucks are going to kind of handle this game. I mean, kind of some of the takes that I've seen on the Buccaneers. I mean, they literally look like a fantasy football team. Like they look like something somebody created on Madden. They got 3 running backs that are like for each down. Like you can run Leonard Fournette and Ronald Jones on first, second down. If it's ever third long, you can throw in Shady McCoy. I mean, like it's crazy what they have. And then you know Rob Gronkowski, you know Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. Like it's
O.J. Howard,
and then Tom Brady. Yeah, and then you got crazy. Tom Brady at holding the reins to that machine. It's crazy. And then, I mean, the thing about the Chargers, very glad the Panthers got a win last week against them. That was a big game. Yeah, that stuff with Tyrod Taylor is crazy. Because, it's just unfortunate. I always like to watch him play. It's kind of crazy. He's been bouncing around the league a little bit. And I thought the Chargers were going to be straight this year. I thought they would be, at least a 500 team at least. I mean, they got Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram. I mean, they're going to get multiple sacks a game. And then if you have, anytime you have a dual threat quarterback able to get you 6 yards on any play, I mean, you get in field goal position. 3 points is huge in the NFL. So, unfortunately, I think the Bucs are just going to be a little bit too much for the Chargers for sure. I think Bucs walk away with that one with a couple touchdowns win.
Yeah, and again, as much as I hate Tom Brady, I do think he's pulling that team together, like as a big brotherhood. You know that the defense is playing real hard just to try to get the ball back to the offense. The one stat that it was very interesting to me is that their time of possession was under 30 minutes. So they're having the ball less than half the time of the game. So let's see if that kind of changes. I think they can. Leonard Fournette's actually out this week, Ace. And I think Chris Godwin might be out as well. So Scotty Miller.
Yeah, I said that. They both are out.
Okay. So the Bucs still, like I said, dynamic. They still got Ronald Jones. They still got Shady McCoy. Their offense is starting to click. Their defense is playing pretty hard. And Justin Herbert's got 2 games on his film now in the NFL. So I think that Bruce Arians will take advantage of that for sure. And that defense is going to come right at that rookie. So I do think that he can throw that thing very deep. And so they might be chugging it up and seeing if they can win those one-on-ones down the field with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams. And then you got that Austin Eckler as a check down. So if they do come in with a blitz, hopefully Justin Herbert can end up making it a game by checking it down and letting the running backs get the work in. A lot of people don't realize that they still have Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry was an awesome tight end for Phillip Rivers before he got hurt. He's coming back. I think they're trying to build some rapport with each other. And that could be very interesting to watch. I do think that the Bucs are going to kind of take care of business very, very easily. Again, it's football in the South, and that's my division. So I always think that they're going to beat up on some guys in different divisions. But with all that being said, I'm taking the Bucs. Ace, you taking the Bucs?
Yeah.
Cheese.
I already picked the Bucs. But look, this is crazy too. So right now there's 2 starters right now on the offensive line, tackle and a guard right now for the Chargers that are definitely out. And then the other guard and the other tackle are marked questionable. So the only offensive lineman that could possibly play that's a starting returner for the Chargers could be the center. So that would not be good for them at all. But yeah, I picked the Bucs on that. I just thought that was crazy. They could have all their offensive linemen out but their center.
Yeah. Well, those 2 key games, we're going to go ahead and head to my game of the week, which is the Cardinals versus the Panthers.
What you are looking for.
I actually got to go to a game last year in Arizona, since I'm living in Vegas, and I got to saw Christian McCaffrey scamper for 80 yards for a touchdown. It was awesome. It was a high scoring. It was very fun. I actually got to sit with a bunch of Carolina fans, which was crazy. We're on like the 15th row, and you're welcome, Tanner. Hey, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate you commenting on here, and I appreciate you watching it still. But like I said, it was a fun environment. Some dude almost got in a fight. An Arizona fan he couldn't take it. I don't know. He was talking so much junk at the beginning, and then we started to win and things like that. So these Carolina fans are kind of being ratchet and throwing shade at him, and he's like getting up ready to fight. This stuff was hilarious, dude. And then Kenny was just like, "Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing." And I'm sitting here like, "Oh, I want to say something to this guy," but. We won't have Christian McCaffrey, obviously. Our O-line is actually not too bad, and Teddy Bridgewater he's a game manager. So I don't think he's the guy for the future, but he's doing what he needs to get done with this team to put us in a winning position, and that's winning that field position battle. Even though we kicked so many field goals last week, we come in there and we win versus a decent Chargers defense, right, and a rookie quarterback, but it's still a win's a win, and that's a pretty tough division that the Chargers are in as well. Shades on you. Tanner's saying this in the comments. My girlfriend hates when I play the speakers in the car. That's awesome, dude. Or your own little radio broadcast for your car. But yeah. Carolina's defense is young. Jeremy Chin, one of our safeties that we picked up in the rookie class, and Derek Brown, the rookies. They are doing pretty good. Jeremy Chin leads all rookies in tackles this year, so that's pretty cool. He's being utilized in more than just a safety position. He's out there in man coverage sometimes versus some of these good wideouts, and he's actually holding his own. So that's really, really great to see for Carolina fans out there. But I think we got Eli Apple coming back off of injury reserve. He's going to be getting some rotation work in the corner position, which is going to make us a little bit stronger in the secondary. And then our linebacking core, Jair Whitehead and Shaq Thompson. Shaq Thompson, to me, is a little undersized, but he flies around. He starts to make plays. I actually put him as a nickel sometimes in our defensive packages and then put an extra linebacker in there that I honestly couldn't tell you. I'm not a true fan, I guess. But that's going to be interesting to see how they utilize him because he is that dual threat at the linebacker and safety position. And offensively, Robbie Anderson is obviously the go-to guy. Mike Davis probably going to have another good week this week versus the Cardinals, who were last in the run last year. They've been doing pretty good. this year to start out. So it's going to be a really interesting matchup. Cardinals, on the other hand, have DeAndre Hopkins. He's questionable, so that might be a plus for us. And then they have the running back. What's his name again? He came from Miami.
Christian Kirk's also questionable.
Yeah, but they still got old man Larry. Larry's Mr. Clutch. So Kyler Murray's going to be scampering for his life. We do a pretty good job of holding quarterbacks that can run in the pocket on our defense, just how we're schemed. So that's going to be a good one to watch. I think we could possibly go 2-2. I'm taking my boys in the Panthers. It's at home, and I think we'll shut down Kyler Murray, and then we'll just blast through that defense. What you think, Cheese?
Kyler Murray comes back with a vengeance from last week. Now looking at I know they're questionable, but I mean, there's a lot of key players that are questionable right now for the Arizona Cardinals, and I think majority of these guys will play, but if they all don't play, then it, Panthers should definitely take this one. Y'all do have a starting guard and tackle out though, so that kind of even hurts more for your offense. But I think Kyle Murray kind of comes back strong from what I think the whole Arizona Cardinals come back strong for what they do. I think DeAndre Hopkins does play as much as he can. It does say it's an ankle. I don't think it's extremely serious, but they kind of get it done offensively, and I still think the Panthers defensively are trying to figure out what they want to do and accomplish this year as a defense. Offense, losing Christian McCaffrey is still just going to be it's hard to overcome that no matter what you do. I mean, that's your bread and butter guy. And two guys questionable on the offensive line for y'all. I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals on that one. I think they come back kind of with vengeance and play like they did with the first two games. They beat a 49ers team, that I think are pretty good in all aspects, no matter who they had playing for them. So I think their caliber for winning against pretty decent teams should be high. So I want to see, I think Cardinals is a little bit too much of a wall for the Panthers to get over this Sunday. So, yeah, I go with Arizona.
All right, Ace. Cardinals versus Panthers. Who you got?
Yeah, I got the Panthers on that one. Even with Christian, I mean, I might be a little bit biased. Honestly, I think that the Cardinals might take this one, but I'm gonna go with the Panthers. Teddy Bridgewater, I think he's a very good quarterback. Exactly what you said, manager. I think, I mean, he just makes the right decisions. His completion percentage is up near the top in the NFL this year. Last week was a big win, even without Christian. I mean, it just kind of showed what you're talking about. We just kept on kicking a bunch of field goals, couldn't put it in the end zone. Third down, Joe Brady literally had no idea what to do without Christian McCaffrey. I was thinking about it. Like, I think Joe Brady, he probably on his play sheet, he probably has third down plays, and he probably has about, he probably has a good, every single one of them is probably drawn up for Christian McCaffrey. I mean, Christian McCaffrey is like the best player in the NFL. I mean, anytime, if I'm the offensive coordinator for the Carolina Panthers, and it's third down and I need 2 yards, like, I don't care what I'm doing. For somehow, some way, I'm getting the ball to Christian McCaffrey, either like on a draw, on a swing route out of the backfield. Like, I'm putting him wide and throwing him a hitch route, like something. It's tough without him there. That's why I would lean towards the Cardinals probably with this game. But, the Cardinals are kind of scary.
They're sneaky.
Murray is – I usually talk down the Cardinals because, they really haven't been very good. They had that one run when they made it to the Super Bowl in, like, the early 2010 era.
Yeah.
And they played the Steelers, but Larry Fitzgerald and all them. But I can't remember who the quarterback was. It was either like Kurt Warner or Carson Palmer. But, they just haven't had really had any good quarterbacks out there. Yeah, but Kyler Murray is a freak. Kyler Murray is like,
And then you bring Hopkins over, and they've been slightly building that defense on the low. And then you still have Larry, so they kind of formed up tonight.
Yeah. They did go from last in the league on defense to
they're good. He's a future.
You still got to take care of the football, though. He's throwing too many picks.
Well, that was one game. That's why I think he'll come back.
UFC guy.
What was that, Ace?
Yeah, the UFC, Ronald Jones, his brother is the defensive end for the Cardinals.
I know who you're talking about. Chandler Jones.
I can't remember his name.
It's Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones. Yeah. So yeah, that team is raw. Yeah, Kyler Murray's a future MVP, but yeah, just because I'm Panthers fan, I'm gonna take the Panthers on that one.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one.
Cheese, you going opposite on us?
Yeah, I told you Arizona was gonna win. You weren't listening.
I always listen. What are you talking about? So
yeah, I got Arizona.
All right, so the next game we are going to be talking about, let's go ahead and skip to the Browns and the Cowboys because I want to save that one for the other one for later. Chiefs, go ahead and take over the Browns and Cowboys. You think the Browns can get it done?
No, I think Cowboys are going to win. Even though Cowboys have their best offensive lineman out, Tyron Smith out, and probably one of the best in the whole NFL out. That hurts them, and Trayvon Diggs hurts them. But looking at the Browns, Kareem Hunt, he's questionable. They got one of their best guards, Batieno or whatever. I can't pronounce nothing, so you already know what that is. But definitely Greedy Williams is out. Starting linebackers out for them, and defensive end Claiborne's out for them. And I think they don't, for them to beat the Cowboys, they don't need anybody out. They need everybody on track and everybody healthy to even give them kind of a run. These two teams are kind of like the two roller coaster teams anyway. It's like they're up and down, could be good, but they lost, yada, yada, yada. But I think Cowboys should, on paper, they should win. So I'm picking the Cowboys on that one. Browns are they got a good running game and things like that. But, if Kareem Hunt, he's questionable anyway. So if he don't get a lot of things, and, how much does it actually open up for them? And if they have two of their offensive linemen out that are questionable. So, if that's the case, then I definitely would take the Cowboys on that one. But we don't know, with it being questionable. But I think Dak finds a way to get it done. And I think Ezekiel Elliott has a pretty good game on the ground for sure. They established a ground game. And I think CeeDee Lamb is actually he's going to start evolving more and more and more. And I think, especially – coming straight into the NFL game by game by game by game is what's going to make you progress more and things like that, as a football player. But he's got all the tools and weapons that he needs to be great. So, yeah, I got Dallas on that. I think they're just a little bit too tough for the Cleveland Browns to overcome. But, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if, the Cowboys wind up losing something on a field goal or something. It wouldn't surprise me. But, yeah, I'd go Cowboys up. That's my pick.
All right, Ace, go ahead and tell us what you think.
Yeah, haven't thought a whole lot about this one. I'd probably go with the Browns off initial thought. I'm not much of a Cowboys fan. A little bit of bias here. I think the Browns are not a bad team. I mean, but you never can pick the Browns. I mean, I can't remember last time. I don't think as long as I've been alive I've ever seen them in a playoff game. So. It's kind of hard to pick them when you've never seen them play in like January or February. So,
it's kind of a weird game.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott. I mean, he's a great running back, much respect, but just not a big fan of his. Obviously, he went to Ohio State. I mean, being a big Michigan fan, anti-Ezekiel, but. Yeah, Nick Chubb's been running the ball really good for the Browns last 2 years. So I mean, it's when you have a good run game, and then Baker Mayfield, I mean, he's a little bit of a character, but I mean, I think he wants to win. And when you play in Cleveland, you gotta create your own energy. I mean, that's
a lot of want.
It looks pretty desolate. I mean. I'm sure it's a great time and everything, but I think Baker's really good for Cleveland. I think they'll pull that one out.
Yeah, I'm also gonna go. I'm gonna not side with you, Ace. I'm sorry. I'm going with Cheese on this one. I think the Cowboys.
I was hoping you would pick the Browns.
I'm never gonna pick the Browns, dude, unless it's like a clear cut. So the Browns are still the Browns. Fantasy-wise, though, I do think you should start Nick Chubb or any of those wideouts because Dallas' defense is struggling. But I think their offense is just too much to overcome. Cleveland's going to have to throw, and then Baker makes those stupid decisions sometimes. They're going to get away from the running game versus Dallas, which as you saw it last week, Nick Chubb had a lot of yards. Then Kareem Hunt had a touchdown as well. I know Kareem Hunt, he's out or questionable. So a lot of it's going to be put on the back of Nick Chubb. But I think they get away from the run game early in this, and that's what makes them lose. If they establish that run game and keep with it, and design plays for Baker to get on the edge, I think Cleveland has a legit shot to beat the Cowboys, but I just don't think it's going to happen, especially because it's the Brownies and, bad things happen to that. So I am, too, going to pick Dallas. Zeke's going to run all over them. Myles Garrett is a guy I want to highlight. If he can stop Zeke on those outside runs, because Myles Garrett's been playing lights out pretty much lately. He's a force on that left end or right end, whichever one he lines up at. And I just think Zeke is too much for him, and Dak Prescott's going to get it done. They've got weapons, so I think that will be a pretty good matchup, for the Cowboys to try to get back on track. But upset city, that's what Cleveland's about. So Ace is going.
Myles Garrett almost killed somebody on that.
I was going to bring that up, and that's very questionable. Like, how is he even still in the league? He grabbed somebody's helmet and slung it at somebody. Like, holy cow, bro. But,
just a little slap on the wrist. No, don't worry about it.
You're too good at football, so we're just going to let you play. We'll find you.
Not a helmet.
It doesn't matter that you murdered somebody on national television. That's crazy.
Glove didn't fit.
Wow.
All right, so the next game we're going to be talking about Colts versus Bears. Bears are 3-0. Colts are 2-1. They actually lost to the Jaguars, which is crazy. But Bears are on a roll right now. They had a quarterback switch, and I'm going to let Ace go ahead and take that one over. You can go ahead and start us with that one. I know you like the Bears too.
Yeah, so I'm going to come back to this little story right here. This is more for the Eagles and the Philadelphia people. Nick Foles, you guys traded. Just crazy how they let him go, man. Just, gave it away like a ragged pair of jeans, man. It was bad. I mean, Nick Foles, he wins you a Super Bowl. And, now he's the starting quarterback for the Chicago Bears. I mean, are they in this? Yeah, they're in the same division, I think, too.
No, they're not.
No.
That's the North. The Eagles are in the East.
Yeah.
So, North side, you already know.
Yeah, anyways. It's just bad how they come away like that. But the Bears are notorious for having a good defense. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to pick against the Bears. I think Nick Foles is a good game manager. I mean, he's just a winner. I think the Bears handle that game pretty easily.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut in front of you, Chiefs. I think the Bears, last year when they put Nick Foles in, they didn't really give him a chance. The offense was brand new. He's had a whole COVID offseason, so to speak, and then he's been sitting behind, waiting for his opportunity behind Mitch Trubisky. I think he takes advantage of that and gives the Bears some life on offense. David Montgomery is a pretty decent running back. He runs real hard. He's a little undersized. He reminds me a little bit of a Ray Rice or Maurice Jones-Drew. And then you got Anthony Miller out there. You've got Allen Robinson, who they were having problems with him a couple weeks ago. Like, if you're not going to throw it to me, trade, basically, right? But they fed him the ball last week. He ended up showing up, having a good showing. And Nick Foles is like you said, is a pretty good game manager. So I'm going to have to go and side with the 3-0 Bears on this one. I do like the Colts. But Phillip Rivers, for some reason, looks a little bit his age this year. And he doesn't really have a check down target like Austin Eckler. Jonathan Taylor is a pretty good rookie running back coming in, and the O-line is amazing. But you got T.Y. Hilton that's really not playing too much. Zach Pascal, who's not really a polished receiver. He's just a guy that plays very hard, and, he'll go up and high point the ball, which is nice. And then they got Michael Pittman, the rookie, out this week. I think the Bears got something. They win ugly, but at least they win. So I'm definitely going Bears on this. They got a good defense. That defense, like you said, Ace, it's top tier almost every single year. Even though they had a down year last year, they got everybody kind of coming back on the D line. The secondary solid. So I think Nick Foles does just enough to put them on top of that. I do think it's going to be an under. I think the over-under was like 48 or something. I think they'll score less than that. It'll be very defensive, in my opinion. What do you think, Chiefs?
After listening to y'all talk, I don't want the Bears to win, especially being in our division. It's about 3-0. They're not a 3-0 team. Get out of here. I don't think so. They've gotten lucky the past few weeks. I've talked crap about Phillip Rivers, but now that they're matching up against the Bears, I hope Phillip Rivers has an absolutely insane game. Khalil Mack is questionable for that game, so I hope and pray that he's out. And that offensive line just run the freaking ball. Run the ball, control the clock, control game management, things like that. Win all three aspects and phases of the game, and see what we can do. I think it's – usually when I think this, it's opposite. I don't think it's going to be a blowout on either side. And I say that, then I watch the game, and like some teams winning by like 20-something. I'm like, okay. But games like this, this one really could go either side. But I'm going to go with the Colts because I don't want the Bears to win. I think it's about time somebody knocks them off their high horse. Colts can be dangerous if they start hitting on all cylinders and things like that. But just control the clock, control possession, run the freaking ball behind that offensive line. All right, and they need to start putting a little bit more play action in there and give a little bit more misdirection and stuff like that for Phillip Rivers and things like that. And then especially and start feeding the ball for 4 quarters, running wise. But I go Colts on that. That will be one of my bias picks this week. I know Foles is a good quarterback. I agree with both y'all on everything y'all said with him and things like that. And the Bears defense have always been pretty sneaky. But I just think it's time to knock them off their high horse. And, Phillip Rivers might be a little pissed off right here and take something a little bit on the chin right now with the little Foles and Phillip action, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'll go different. I'll take Colts on that one.
Good. I'm glad. Bears are actually underdogs. So
Phillip Rivers throws at like 9 when he throws.
What was that? You broke up.
That video of Phillip. Was that 99-yard touchdown?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
First joke.
Yeah, so
he's like, not in my
the Bears.
I will yell in your ear.
So the Bears, Colts, 2 of us go Bears. The Bears are undefeated. Colts are 2-1. They lost to the Jaguars. So we'll see what happens. That's going to be good.
That was a game that things wasn't clicking for the Colts, and Minshew went absolutely insane. Yeah. And then the next week looked like a JV quarterback. So, I got to see more. It's still early in the season, though, but I got to see more. But, yeah, I pick Colts.
It is. All right, which is going to be going to bring us to our last key matchup of the day. Okay, we will talk about picks after this, but the last key matchup, we got Bills versus the Las Vegas Raiders, dude. I think this is going to be a really good game because both teams like to run the ball and establish that. The Bills are on their high horse. Josh Allen is playing out of his mind. I love that quarterback. I say this every single week, but I absolutely love Josh Allen, the way he plays football. He can run to the left and throw to the right on a line. It's just insane arm strength right there. And the Raiders got a pretty good defense. I think their defensive front 7 is probably their better half. And then that safety in Jonathan Abrams, who actually played with a freaking he had blood, or what was it? He fractured his collarbone or something like that, chipped it. He had internal bleeding and still came out and played last week. Man, this guy's like a heart of a champion. He loves football. He just wants to come out here and do the best for his team. And he was playing, like I said, he comes downhill ready to hit people, dude. And so he might be a short career.
Someone gave him some morphine.
Yeah, he might have a short career, but he is definitely so much fun to watch. I think they actually lost the rookie corner last week in Arnetta from Clemson. So that's going to be a big loss for them. I think the Bills end up getting this done. Raiders lost 2 of their – yeah, the Raiders lost 2 of their starting receivers as well. So I'm taking the Bills on the road, and I know I want to see the Raiders do well, but I think the Bills, even though they played the Jets and the Dolphins, they still took care of business versus the Rams, or competed with them at least, and then had some crazy comeback in the fourth quarter in the last seconds. So I think they continue to be good. Sean McDermott's doing a great job over there. Devin Singletary is that lead back. He just looks so good. And then to have Zach Moss maybe come back and compliment him is going to help out a lot. Stephon Diggs and John Brown, still 2 fast, dynamic receivers for Josh Allen to throw to down the field. They're just too much for the Raiders. Raiders are going to try to establish a run, and then the Bills have a good run defense as well. So I think the Bills come out on top on that one. I want to see the Raiders do good, but, I do think the Bills are a better football team. So what do you think, Cheese?
Well, yeah, on the fact also, they're not out for sure, but they're not questionable, but for doubtful, Henry Ruggs is out for y'all and Trent Brown, the tackle, for the Raiders. And I just think Buffalo's playing pretty good on all cylinders. And those games that they played, yeah, they might not have been like the best competition besides the Rams and things like that, but it's given them time to adapt and change and form into what they want to do going into the later weeks toward the middle of the season. And Josh Allen he's a beast, dude. There's not too much to talk about that. You pretty much hit all aspects on that. Defensively, I like kind of what the Bills are doing as well. I like what the Raiders are doing. I just think the Bills are just a little bit too strong right now. I don't know. I don't know. Raiders have impressed me this year compared to what I thought. They're getting things done, but I don't think I think the Bills are hot right now. And they're they're to the point where I think they're a little bit harder than what the Raiders are. So I go Bills. I go Bills on that one.
All right, Ace, tell us what you think.
Bills Mafia.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills on this one. I get a very good feeling and sensation when I see fans jumping through tables.
Yes.
Me too.
I'll do it.
I enjoy the videos. Those make me excited to watch football. I've been high on Josh Allen since the draft. That draft was crazy with the quarterbacks.
Yes, it was.
I mean, that was Patrick Mahomes, Mitchell Trubisky, Josh Allen, somebody else, some other big name was taking that draft. But it was crazy because, Jonathan Allen. I was big on him. Like,
Josh
Allen. It was
Allen.
the guy that who just got cut from the Dolphins.
Somebody got cut?
He came. Yeah, the quarterback.
Oh, Josh Rosen. I hated him.
Josh Rosen.
I did not like him at all.
He was part of that draft too. Yeah, and people thought Josh Rosen was going to be better than Josh Allen. It was mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling. So, I'm kind of anti-Raiders right now because they beat the Panthers week 1. I mean, that run game is crazy, but I think the Bills are they're 3-0 for a reason. Jonathan Allen's got them
Josh Allen.
Good. Sean what did I say?
Jonathan. You keep calling him Jonathan. It's Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. I think the Bills are going to be too much for the Raiders, and I'm taking them by a couple touchdowns.
Nice. All right, so that's our key matchups for the week, guys. We are going to go down the list. Cheese is going to take over. He's going to list out some games, and we're going to pick who we think, and then just a little brief description of why. It won't be as long, so thank you guys for tuning in again. And this episode is almost over, but here we go with the picks. Go ahead, Cheese.
Baltimore Ravens versus the Washington football team. Don't even need a brief description on that one. Baltimore Ravens are winning. Chase Young is out for sure for the Washington football team. So Ravens, no doubt.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Ravens as well. Washington football team is awful. That whole division's awful.
And their best players out, so.
What about you, Ace?
Yep.
We want
Ravens minus 13, they're going to win by Ravens minus 13, they're going to win by 28.
Jesus. It's still the NFL.
Yeah, Washington.
Lamar Jackson's going to go out there and put up 300-plus yards of offense and probably 4 touchdowns. It's going to be ridiculous.
It could happen, no doubt.
We're going to see him. He's going to put a spin move on somebody and be back on ESPN top play.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson's on.
All right, next one, Los Angeles Chargers at Tampa Bay. We already talked about that one. I picked Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Bucks.
Ace, you picked Bucks too, right? Yeah. All right, Seattle Seahawks at Miami Dolphins. Jamal Adams, the safety, is out, and Quentin Dunbar for Seattle. But the Dolphins cornerback, Byron Jones, is out, and their safety, Frazier, is out. So I think that's a fair trade. Seahawks on that one for sure. It's still Miami.
I'm going to go with the Seahawks, too. I think that one's going to be actually a really good game. I a lot of people don't know that Seahawks defense, man, they're like almost dead last in the league with yards allowed. They just somehow end up pulling it out of their, they just pull it out at the very end with Russell Wilson going down there and being Russell Wilson. And he's been bailing his freaking defense out every single week. So, and Miami is a sneaky team, bro. I'm telling you, Miami's not as bad as everybody thinks. They are sneaky.
All right, so think about this, though. That being said, the safety's out, Adams. The linebacker, Brooks, is out. And the corner, Quentin Dunbar, is out for Seattle.
Yeah.
And they're already doing what they're doing. I mean,
that's very interesting, dude, because I want to see Miami do well just because of who they are.
Questionable. Chris Carson is questionable. Shaquille Griffin, he's questionable. Hyde, the running back's questionable. Another corner and another safety is questionable. So, I mean,
I'm not worried.
Go do something. That's going to be crazy.
If Russell Wilson and DK Metcalf are still on that team, they're going to win. Or at least put up numbers in order to win. That defense is just very questionable. What about you guys?
I'm staying with my pick, though. I'm going to stay with Seattle.
Yeah, me too. Ace? You're just shaking your head, yeah?
Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson. Mr. Unlimited. Mr. Unlimited is gonna, He's the MVP again this year. Best quarterback in the league. They take this one.
That's a statement and a half over Patrick Mahomes, dude. I don't know about
He's
that.
had the most touchdowns in history in the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, true. I'm not saying he's not doing bad.
I mean,
no, but I'm saying that's crazy. Like
it's 16 weeks.
Ask for it.
We're almost done, man.
Did
All
you
right.
guys see that video of Russell Wilson when he was talking about his ego?
Yeah. The one that you're saying?
Yeah.
And he's also
Listen, he is unlimited. He's gonna throw an amount of touchdowns this year.
Heck yeah.
You're treating him right, boy. He lucky. All right, next one. Minnesota Vikings at the Houston Texans. I'll tell you a little bit out right now. Hughes, cornerback for the Vikings, is out. The only thing out for the Texans right now is questionable as a fullback. So I don't really know about this one, to be honest, guys. This was one I really didn't know. Like Minnesota, if Kirk Cousins don't literally just be a deep and put together.
You stole the words right out of my mouth.
So that's the best thing I could think to call them. But then, they established that running with Cook and things like that. They're a pretty decent type team, but Texans the same way. I mean, I think both of these teams are really fighting to figure out who they are and how to finish out this season in a positive manner. But I don't know. Someone else. I'm not even picking this one first. No, I have to. I started. Damn it. All right, let's go. I'm going, because it's in our division, screw them. I'm going Texans. Picking Texans. That one's tough. I don't know about this one.
Ace, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, Texans going to win this one. Deshaun Watson. The Vikings might go 0-16 and get Trevor Lawrence and then win a Super Bowl next year.
I hope they go 0-16.
But Texans are going to win this one.
That's a real hot take. I'm torn between this one.
This year.
I think both teams need to win.
That's what I'm saying.
Both teams need to win. And I think the Minnesota's a way better coach football team. The Vikings and the Houston Texans both need to win. They're both 0-3. I think they have better coaching staff. I think they have better offensive playmakers around Kirk Cousins than Deshaun Watson does. I think Houston's defense is a little bit better, right? And J.J. Watt's probably going to cause havoc and wreak havoc on Kirk Cousins.
I hope.
But I'm going to have to go Vikings, dude. I'm going to take Dalvin Cook over Kirk Cousins this week, for that offense. Hopefully he can establish the running game. I just think the Houston Texans are pretty bad on the O-line. And I say this every single week. You can't have a franchise quarterback in there taking hits like Deshaun Watson does. He ends up going to make plays with his feet, and they're chunking down the field. But how long can he withstand this? How long is he going to stay healthy for you guys as your franchise quarterback with that O-line not blocking like they do? You know,
we
and
can adjust to that too. After he runs that thing as a DC after a while, we can adjust and make sure that we keep him inside the pocket.
Yeah.
And force him to do something. Yeah. So
exactly. And Mike Zimmer's a head coach that's more defensively, and even though it doesn't seem like the first couple weeks, I think they get it. They start to put it together this week. I don't think they are the last. I don't think they're the worst team. I think the Jets are still the worst team. Jets might take Trevor Lawrence, but I'm gonna go different with you guys, and I'm gonna pick that Vikings. I think they played a lot more better talent as well going into this game. Actually, no, I'm lying. I'm lying about that. Okay.
Because the Texans played the Chiefs.
Yeah, don't quote me because they played the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the freaking Steelers. So they're they're just a little banged up. I'm taking Minnesota. Just go different. So
I don't know.
I'm going Vikings, boys. Sorry.
I'll
No,
take
sorry.
it doesn't hurt my feelings. That's okay. All right, next. New Orleans Saints at Detroit Lions. Saints have Michael Thomas out, Jared Cook out. Their starting guard, Andres Pete out. Starting quarterback, Janoris Jenkins, he's out. Defensive end, Marcus Davenport, he's out. And their other quarterback, Marshawn Lattimore, he's out. Okay,
Yes.
Lions have a safety, CJ Moore out, and that's it. So good. Here's the injury buzz. Beep, beep. Like, New Orleans has a lot of people out. And I don't know, man. Like, the Lions are like one of those teams that are like floating the line, like, hey, are they good? Hey, are they
We just beat the Cardinals last week, and I told you to watch out. I didn't pick them, but I was like, man, they're sneaky. And the rookie corner last week that I highlighted had a pick. So it's pretty exciting.
No, Drew Brees. We beat the Saints last week. You already know what it is. But Drew Brees don't come back and go 0-2 against NFC North competition, especially it being the Lions. Saints win that game. Drew Brees comes back with a little bit of vengeance. They find a way. I think they find a way.
What do you think about that one, Ace? Saints versus Lions. Well, he apparently muted us or something. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think the Lions are a pretty decent football team.
So Matt Patricia.
Oh, there you go.
Matt Patricia gets Matthew Stafford. Oh, my bad.
No, you went in and out. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. All right. So Matt Patricia slips Matthew Stafford a red pill before the game, and Matthew Stafford escapes the Matrix. He wins this game. He beats the Saints.
Ooh.
He makes it to the playoffs.
Oh.
And he wins a playoff game.
Jesus.
Matthew Stafford.
The Lions?
Yes. He escapes the Matrix. Matt Patricia gets the red pill from Bill Belichick and gives it to Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford escapes the Matrix and makes it to the playoffs and wins a playoff game. I'm taking the Lions.
I will move to Canada if that happens. I would hate that.
They have a very high tax rate.
Oh God. So
I want to know what's in that pill.
I'm gonna go with you, Cheese. I think, like I said, the NFC South is a little bit better. Even with all those injuries, it does suck to lose your two starting corners. Don't get me wrong, and the Lions match up well with that if you lose your starting corners because their receivers are so dynamic. Yeah. I think the Saints still got a good front line, and that they'll make Matthew Stafford throw. But the D coordinator for the Saints I think he's really, really good, and he'll put those guys that are coming into a good position in order to get those interceptions and create havoc on Matthew Stafford. Stafford does tend to throw a lot of picks when he gets pressured, so I think he dials up a few blitzes with these guys, just come running at him, and then he ends up throwing it up. I think Kenny Golladay does have an outstanding game. I just don't think it's enough to beat the Saints. And the Saints are on a slow start, so they need this win as well. Especially if Carolina wins this week. If Carolina wins this week, hey, we're 2 in the division, baby, behind the Bucs. So I'm hoping that the Saints end up losing, but I am picking them versus the Lions. I just don't like the Lions at all. So I'm sorry. I like the pick, though.
We talked about Cleveland Browns and Dallas Cowboys already. I already picked Cowboys.
Lions.
Yeah. Where you going? You froze on me, buddy.
Browns.
Oh, yeah, he picked Browns. That's right. Who'd you pick on that one, Ryan?
I got the Cowgirls.
That's right. Ooh, kill him. All right. So next one, Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Cincinnati Bengals. I told you I'm done. I'm done. I already picked the Cincinnati Bengals twice this year. Twice. And they pissed me off. So I'm going Jacksonville Jaguars. They do have no, it's about it. Well, the Bengals have Geno Atkins and Mike Daniels out right now, and a starting linebacker, Logan Wilson. So yeah, I'm taking Jags on that one.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the Jaguars. I think James Robinson is a pretty dang good running back that came out of nowhere. With those two big names out, he easily gets the running game established. And then Gardner Minshew, if you can get a running game with him, he's going to make the right reads because he's used to that air raid. And I think he's not a bad little quarterback, man. And I think the Jacksonville Jaguars are a sneaky little football team, but I think they get it done versus whoever you just said. I don't even know.
Well, goodness gracious, son. Nah, Cincinnati Bengals.
Oh, yeah, those guys.
What about you, Ace?
The Bengals.
He's just trying to go different, son.
The Bengals.
Uh-oh.
Two ball. But, no. Joey B gets his first win in the NFL.
I've been waiting. I just can't wait.
He's 0-2 and he's a winner. He gets one against Jags.
Joe Mixon's also questionable, just FYI. Which ain't too bad because he hasn't really been doing nothing. But I like it. I can see him definitely winning that game.
AJ Green is like is top 3 receivers. AJ Green's top 3 receivers in the league. He hasn't done anything. He makes a couple plays this week, I hope. Joey B gets a win.
Yeah, that is a good point. All right, next one. Indianapolis Colts at Chicago Bears. We already talked about that one. I hope the Bears take the wrong turn and wind up in Minnesota and miss the game. So I got the Colts on that one.
Bears. The Bears.
Bears.
All right, we already talked about this one. Arizona Cardinals at Carolina Panthers. I picked the Cardinals. Y'all picked the Panthers.
Hometown, baby. Stand up.
You don't say that. All right. Next one. New York Giants at Los Angeles Rams. Oh, he already got the Panthers out. He got the keeper out.
What am I talking about? Retired but never forgotten.
Drive Ryan crazy.
Retired but never forgotten right there. I love you. Love you, Luke.
Shout out to Luke, man. Thanks for you did for me.
I miss that guy.
So New York Giants against the Rams. The Giants are awful, so I'm going Rams.
Yeah, Rams should easily take care of business. Giants are right there with the Jets.
Cam Akers are out, but I don't think it matters. I
don't care.
They can hand the ball off to the dude from
Darrell Henderson or Malcolm Brown. One of those two. It doesn't matter.
The hell, they can hand it to somebody
Freaking Giants.
The Little Giants. You know the movie The Little Giants? They can hand it off to somebody there, and they could probably do better than against the New York
Giants and Jets are going to be a battle of New York of worst football to ever play this game.
Oh.
Yeah, Rams definitely win that one.
Run back.
What did you say?
Yeah, New York. Nobody wants to be in New York. Anything in New York is just not good right now.
Yeah. Okay. All right, we already talked Buffalo Bills versus Las Vegas Raiders.
Bills.
Ace picked Raiders, right? And I picked Bills. You picked Bills, Ryan?
No, he said Bills Mafia.
Oh, that's right. My bad. So we all picked Bills on that one?
Big.
We all picked Bills?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We already talked about New England Patriots and Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs. Yep. Philadelphia Eagles at San Francisco 49ers. Deshaun Jackson and Alshon Jeffrey and Avonte Maddox is all out for the Eagles. They suck even worse than what they've been playing. I know 49ers have a lot of injuries. I go 49ers.
I'm as well going 49ers on that one. I think their running game is just too much. You could, like I said last week, you could put anybody back there to run through that gaping holes on the O-line. And Jimmy G, I think, is he back this week or no?
No.
Oh, and Nick Mullins still gets it done. He just got to hand the ball off. and their defense is still pretty solid. So, and the Eagles just suck. That whole division sucks.
He's not.
So,
And with those 3 injuries, the Eagles, I just told you about with the Eagles, they're even worse than what they've been playing with that.
well, now we can actually see what their young guys have because they've invested in a lot of young wide receiver talent. So if Carson Wentz can actually throw the damn ball and not hold on to it and beat it off back there in his pocket,
Yeah, the Eagles are.
then they'll be all right. But 49ers win.
Who you got, Ace?
We can't
Yeah,
hear you.
Eagles or 49ers.
The Eagles are cursed.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's been a Nick Foles or somebody, the football guys put a. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we got you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the Eagles. Yeah, football guys. There's a curse on the Eagles for throwing away their Super Bowl MVP like he was used laundry. It's bad. 49ers are a very good football team. Deebo Samuel out of South Carolina, he's a freak athlete. George Kittle. I mean, they made it to the Super Bowl for a reason. They're a good football team. Niners win that one pretty big.
That's it, right, Josh? Or Cheese?
That is all the games besides Green Bay and Atlanta Monday night, but we won't talk about that yet.
Until Monday.
You already know.
Well, that's our picks for the week, guys. Appreciate you, Ace, coming in here and being on the Cheetah and the Cheese show. We love you. Can't wait to see you in 3 weeks. I'll be up there in Charlotte. So thanks for you guys tuning in to Cheetah and the Cheese. We hope to see you for future episodes. Take that dang Michigan jersey off, even though I love Charles Woodson. And we'll see you back next time. Again, we love you guys. We hope you take care. Stay safe.
Go Blue.
Hey.
I got some music for us. Peace out.
Thanks, guys. You guys.
Yes, sir.